Don't be complacent this Ramadan. Ministry to assist family of late YUHANIS. Additional parliamentary seats for Borneo. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Lorenzo Isaac and this is TVS Nightline. Premier of Sarawak Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg urged the public to remain vigilant and comply with the standard operating procedures during the month of Ramadan. He further added that compliance to the SOPs is crucial as the country is slowly transitioning into the next phase.
Kita nampak bahawa ketika kita memasuki endemik, maka sudah tentu masyarakat kita boleh bergerak sedikit. Umpamanya waktu petang bazar kita, saya nampak banyak juga orang yang pergi ke bazar. Tetapi dalam kita mempunyai kelonggaran ini, saya nasihatkan supaya kita terus menjagakan kesihatan kita dan SOP kita.
He said this when officiating the Sumbang Seh Raya 2022 presentation ceremony held at Wisma Bapa Malaysia on Friday. Sumbang Seh is an annual program where contribution boxes are distributed to personnel on duty during Aidil Fitri. This year, a total of 11,500 boxes will be distributed to 10 agencies, an additional of 1,450 boxes compared to last year. The 10 agencies are the Army, Police, Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA, Malaysian Fire and Rescue Department or BOMBA, Prisons Department JPM, Malaysian Immigration Department JIM, Malaysian Royal Customs Department JKDRM, Road Transport Department JPJ, Malaysian Civil Defence Force APM, and People's Volunteers Corps or RELA.
The Sarawak Social Welfare Department will assist the family of late food delivery rider YUHANIS Abdullah, who was killed in a road accident recently, to obtain citizenship status. Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing Development Minister Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah said based on early investigation, the department will be helping YUHANIS' mother, Nurjanah Abdullah, and 17-year-old sister, Siti Mariam Abdullah, to apply for citizenship.
Daripada butiran-butiran yang saya dapati, butiran awal bahawa ibunya dan adik yang ada sekarang ini dan Allah yarham juga adalah bukan warga negara, ya. Walaupun katanya berkahwin dengan warga negara, tetapi dari segi dokumen perkahwinan itu tidak terdapat dokumen, ya. Jadi itulah yang puncanya. Jadi maknanya kita perlu atur, kita perlu bantu dan maklumkan tata cara bagaimana untuk mendapat memohon untuk kewarganegaraan. Sebab yang itu yang belum dibuat.
Fatima said so after visiting the family at Semariang Pinggir, Kuching on Thursday. As Siti Mariam is only 17, her citizenship application will be done under Section 15A of the Federal Constitution, while Nurjanah's application as a wife to a Malaysian citizen is under Section 15(1).
Ya, maknanya kita nak lihat bagaimana proses pemohonan kewarganegaraan ini boleh dilakukan. Ya, kita mahu beliau dari segi pendidikan, dia baru tamat SPM. Kemungkinan dia tadinya ada mengatakan dia berhasrat untuk melanjutkan pelajarannya.
In this regard, she hoped that the application process for both Siti and her mother could be expedited to be eligible to receive any form of assistance. Therefore, she urged the deceased stepfather, Muslimon Sulaiman, 57-year-old, who has legal citizenship status, to apply for special allocation for the house repair from the Sarawak government through the state assemblyman from the area.
Chief Political Secretary to the Premier of Sarawak, Fazruddin Abdul Rahman, called on pending Assemblywoman Violet Yong to ponder whether it is reasonable to lower petrol, diesel and liquefied petroleum gas prices sold through Petroleum Sarawak Berhad, or most commonly known as Petros. In a statement today, Fazruddin pointed out that the fuel prices are highly subsidized by the federal government.
The Tupong assemblyman added a sum of 11 billion ringgit was spent on fuel subsidies last year. It was told that the figure could rise to 28 billion ringgit in 2022 following the ongoing Russian-Ukraine conflict, which has pushed crude oil prices past the US dollar 100 mark per barrel. Fazruddin opined that an additional subsidy by the Sarawak government on these items would cost billions in public funds, which could be better utilized for infrastructure and economic development. Thus, he viewed Young's statement as Sarawak DAP as clutching at straws in a bid to establish some resemblance of relevancy amid their declining popularity among Sarawakians. He urged DAP Sarawak to tone down its rhetoric, painting an image of fighting for Sarawak's rights. He further stressed that the Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS, under the leadership of Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari, has fought tooth and nail to assert its right to the imposition of the state sales tax SST of 5% to recoup what was an empty promise by the Sarawak DAP to return 20% oil royalty to Sarawak. Fazruddin said all this was done without much fanfare by GPS, which is a competent government, delivering its promises and continues to work hard to safeguard the rights of Sarawakians.
The Malaysia Agreement 1963 Special Committee is still in the midst of discussion in regards to the autonomy in education matters. The Deputy Minister in the Premiers of Sarawak Department, Law MA63 and State Federal Relations, Datuk Sharifah Hasidah Syed Aman Ghazali said the negotiations are ongoing and progressing well.
Ini apa-apa perbincangan mengenai MA63 termasuk penurunan kuasa bagi pendidikan adalah dalam proses perbincangan, ya. Perkara itu belum diputuskan, sedang dalam perbincangan. Memang kita mengadakan berbagai siri perbincangan bersama dengan mesyuarat khas yang dipengerusikan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri dan Yang Amat Berhormat Premier kita. Memang perkara itu memang sedang rancak kita bincangkan.
In addition to the devolution of power for education, there were also several other matters being discussed by the special committee with regard to the claims made by Sabah and Sarawak. Among them, Sarawak's right to be on the Inland Revenue Board that determines the income tax authority in the field of health, including tourism-related.
Jadi sebenarnya banyak yang telah kita dapat balik, jadi perkara-perkara yang masih outstanding ini, yang masih belum selesai, kita akan terus cuba selesaikan. Secara secepat yang mungkinlah. Tapi untuk perkara itu banyak yang kita nak bincangkan. Bukannya begitu mudah juga nak bincangkan, tapi kita akan terus usahakan.
At the same time, Deputy Education Minister Tu Datuk Muhammad Alamin said the Malaysia Agreement 1963 Special Committee will discuss providing Sabah and Sarawak autonomy in education matters. Adding to that, he said this is a new matter listed in the MA63 Committee. As such, he will be called by Minister in Prime Minister's Department Sabah and Sarawak Affairs, Datuk Sri Dr. Maximus Ongkili, who is in the committee to provide detailed input on matters that require attention. The Gagasan Anak Dayak Sarawak Gawai Dayak BAZAAR 2022 returns after 2 years of absence due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The bazaar is scheduled to take place on May 2nd to May 21st in Pertamai Jaya, MIRI.
According to Deputy Minister of Infrastructure and Port Development, Dato' Majang Rangi, the 40 Canopies Bazaar is a platform for vendors to sell local delicacies and generate extra income. He urged all vendors to make full use of this platform and pointed out that the bazaar could boost tourism sector by showcasing Dayak's culture. Meanwhile, Mahjong also announced UGA's pledge to contribute 35,000 ringgit to the association for the event.
An abattoir in Krokop Miri has been directed to close temporarily following the detection of the African swine fever ASF virus on Wednesday, April 6. Minister of Modernisation and Agriculture and Regional Development, Datuk Sri Dr. Stephen Rundi Utom said the closure order was issued in accordance with Section 25 Veterinary Public Health Ordinance 1999 as a control measure to prevent the spread of the disease.
In a statement earlier today, Dr. Rundi said the purpose of closing the premises is to enable cleaning and sanitation work to be done effectively. Dr. Rundi assured the public that the ministry, through the Department of Veterinary Services Sarawak, is always proactive in surveillance work to monitor the spread of the disease. He added that the ministry would take necessary action so that the abattoir could reopen as soon as possible to reduce losses by farmers and butchers. Meanwhile, to meet the demand for pork supply in MIRI, the Department of Veterinary Services Sarawak TVS allowed the movement of pork from Sibu, Samarahan and Kuching to be sent to the division. Previously, on April 6, the latest divisions to be declared ASF disease control areas are Sri Aman and Surian, following Indonesian media reports of an ASF outbreak in West Kalimantan.
In collaboration with the Ministry of Transport and the Department of Irrigation and Drainage Sarawak, river cleaning works were held in Miri district. In addition to ensure the cleanliness of the rivers, the river cleaning works are also intended to avoid flood disasters caused by clogged drainage systems due to the garbage disposed in the river.
According to the Minister of Transport, Datuk Sri Lee Kim Shin, Sungai Miri Kecil and Sungai Adong are among the important rivers in Miri due to their close proximity to housing areas.
This one is Sungai Miri Kecil, 3 kilometer long. Yeah, and the other one is
Sungai
Adong.
Yeah, Sungai Adong.
This one is
Both sides.
Sungai Adong. This to cater for Jaya area. So the water from all these housing estates can flow out to the Sungai Adong. So now they clear out the Sungai Adong. This one is 5.7 kilometer long. 5.7 kilometer long. Yeah.
2 rivers, huh?
Yeah, 2. Because this is very important because this is the outlet for all the housing estate here.
Okay.
Last time Jaya flooding, this river blocked. Last time a lot of this vegetation and so on.
Lee added he also requested the Department of Irrigation and Drainage to carry out routine river cleaning work twice a year.
Yeah. And I have requested DID for regular maintenance of this storm drain. So now our program, every 3 months, 6 months?
Every 6 months.
Huh?
2 rounds for...
2 months.
Yes,
2 rounds. Sungai.
Okay.
Dia kena bersih sungai setahun 2 kali.
Okay.
2 kali ke 3? Itu 3 months.
2 times. So
2 kali.
within the...
Okay. Hopefully this will solve. Last time Permajaya was flooding last time. So that's why I think we identified this one of the source of the cost.
Okay.
So, and we are also looking into further up to the Sasanalin side also.
The cleaning work in Sungai Miri Kecil and Sungai Adong has been completed, while the rivers in other areas are still in the process of cleaning.
Continuous heavy rain is expected to occur in northern parts of Sarawak from January 8 to 10th. According to an infographic issued by the Malaysian Meteorological Department, Met Malaysia, on Thursday, based on analysis, there is a potential for strong winds to happen.
Met Malaysia Sarawak Director Haburi Hamdan said the warning issued are expected to exceed 6 hours in the vicinity.
Amaran hujan berterusan peringkat waspada telah dikeluarkan pada 10 pagi 7 April kemarin. Waspada bermaksud hujan berterusan dijangka berlaku untuk di negeri Sarawak. Bahagian atau daerah yang terlibat adalah Mukah, Bintulu, daerah Subis, Beluru, Miri dan daerah Marudi serta bahagian Limbang.
Meanwhile, he further stressed that Met Malaysia will continue to monitor the weather situation 24 hours a day and will issue continuous heavy rain warning and thunderstorm warning when circumstances required. He urged Sarawakians to take necessary precautions during this trying time.
Sememangnya hujan yang berterusan memberi potensi untuk berlakunya tanah runtuh ataupun banjir kilat, ataupun pokok tumbang ataupun apa-apa bencana yang lain yang berkaitan dengan cuaca. Jadi saya nasihatkan orang awam adalah sentiasa berhati-hati dan selalu merujuk laman web Jabatan Meteorologi Malaysia www.met.gov.my serta semua media sosial serta kalau boleh silalah muat turun aplikasi My Cuaca bagi mendapatkan maklumat yang terkini dan sahih.
Lagi
Welcome back. It is time for Sarawak and Sabah to be recognised as regions and given additional seats to achieve a third of the total parliamentary seats in the August House. Kota Samarahan Member of Parliament, Datuk Rubiah Wang said this matter is vital to protect Sarawak and Sabah's special rights and recognise them as partners in the formation of Malaysia.
Berkaitan dengan tambahan kursi, setakat ini kita belum mendapat apa-apa perkembangan. Namun begitu GPS, ahli parlimen GPS dan juga parti GPS serta sahabat-sahabat kita daripada Sabah akan memastikan perjuangan untuk meningkatkan jumlah kursi sebanyak 1/3 seperti yang termaktub ataupun yang tercatat dalam perlembagaan Malaysia.
She further stressed that following the recent amendment to Clause 2 of the Article 1 of the Federal Constitution, Sarawak and Sabah are recognised as equal partners in peninsular Malaysia, which needed to be translated into a fairer distribution of parliamentary seats and a balanced allocation of development funds.
Kekangan kita persepadanan semula ni orang kata memanggil satu usaha yang perlu diambil kira berdasarkan syarat-syarat tertentu yang mana perlu orang kata dia tak boleh buat tiap-tiap tahun dalam jangka masa 8 tahun baru boleh dan juga berkaitan dengan jika ada tujuan-tujuan tertentu khasnya dari sudut pembangunan.
Currently, there are 222 parliamentary seats and 56 are represented by Sarawak with 31 seats and Sabah with 25 seats.
On Thursday, April 7, a 35-year-old man who hid for 2 years was finally brought to Cebu court due to charges of fraud. The accused Ngu Heng King pleaded not guilty to the charge under Section 420 of the Penal Code.
He was released on a 4,000 ringgit bail with 2 guarantees by the Magistrates Court on Friday, April 8. According to the brief read from Magistrate Punita Sivaraji, the accused deceived a 29-year-old insurance agent to buy 12% of 45,000 shares of the company on May 18, 2020. The victim met the accused on Facebook. After transferring the money, the victim requested documents of the company's shares. However, the accused gave various excuses and blocked the phone number. This prompted the victim to file a police report.
The body of a baby boy was found in a dumpster at a condominium in Bandar Baru Klang on Thursday, April 7. The boy was estimated to be only 4 months old.
According to North Klang Police Chief ACPS Vijaya Rao, the body was found by a passerby at about 3 p.m. Acting on the investigation, the police have arrested a foreign woman and her local boyfriend, who are in their 30s and 40s respectively. The 2 suspects will be brought to court for a remand application. The case is being investigated under Section 318 of the Penal Code.
The Cooperative Societies Commission of Malaysia (SKM) has committed to empowering online businesses to help develop more competitive cooperatives, as well as reactivate those who were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. According to SKM Executive Chairman Zazali Harun, almost 60 cooperatives nationwide were affected by the pandemic. Meanwhile, almost 30% of the 14,600 registered cooperatives were categorized as inactive. The 20 million ringgit aid injection through the rehabilitation programs would also help increase the income of cooperatives and reduce the number of inactive ones. Zazali added that the online business method had the potential to be extended to targeted cooperatives such as the B40 group, which was set up in the housing areas of the group. Now, former national shuttler Datuk Lee Chong Wei has dismissed talk of venturing into the world of coaching at this point in time. The 3-time Olympic silver medalist admitted that some parties are courting his services as a coach. However, he has no interest in that field yet.
Local media had reported that Chong Wei had been pursued with offers to be a coach from several Asian countries, with his former coach, also a national badminton legend, Datuk Misbun Sidek, supporting such an opportunity. In June 2019, Chong Wei announced his retirement after 19 years of making the country proud on the international badminton stage.
Now on to some global affairs. A Singapore court on Friday, April 8, sentenced an Australian man, Andrew Gosling, to 5.5 years in prison for killing an elderly Singaporean man and hurting his wife with a wine bottle. The victims were identified as ethnic Malay Muslims in what the judge called an act of religious hostility.
In 2019, Gosling was convicted of causing death and grievous hurt by a rash act for throwing a wine bottle at a group of people 2 stories below him, striking 73-year-old Naziari Sunni and killing him. The bottle bounced and injured the shoulder of the man's wife, Manisa binti Sitri. Gosling's parents, Ian and Pamela, said they did not think Gosling would have deliberately hurt the victims and sought forgiveness from the victim's family. The victim's son and daughter also attended the court sentencing and said they were glad to finally have closure.
We are very glad that finally there's a closure. Yeah, I mean it's been a long journey, almost 3 years. Yeah, so it's really daunting on us that it keeps going on and on and on. But we are just glad that finally it's just.
Gosling's lawyers said they intend to appeal the sentence.
He wishes to file an appeal. So what it means that within 14 days we need to lodge his appeal. And in this case, we are only appealing against the sentence. After 14 days, the court would then, this matter is deemed to be transferred to the High Court. The appeal would be heard in the High Court.
On Thursday, April 7, the Russian Foreign Ministry called the UN vote to remove them from the UN Human Rights Council as illegal and politically motivated. This follows after the General Assembly voted to suspend the country's membership.
The Russian ministry said Western countries monopolized the council and used it for opportunistic purposes. Despite the withdrawal, Russia will continue to contribute to the protection of human rights. The UN General Assembly vote on Russia's membership in the UNHRC, at the initiative of the US, passed by 93 votes to 24, with 58 member states absent. The Russia-Ukraine war, which started on February 24th, has drawn international outrage, with the EU, US and the UK, among others, implementing tough financial sanctions on Moscow. According to UN estimates, at least 1,611 civilians have been killed in Ukraine, and 2,227 injured. Meanwhile, more than 4.3 million Ukrainians have fled to other countries, with millions more internally displaced.
That's all the time we have for the Nightline. For more headlines, head to our website TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media. I'm Lorenzo Isaac and thank you for watching.